Gimmicks. Quite the controversial topic in regards to Sonic the Hedgehog. Some people will tell you that gimmicks are a fun and unique way to make each game stand out from one another, while others will tell you that gimmicks killed the series, with each entry going farther and farther astray with what the core of the series was about. And you know what? Both sides kinda have a point. What are some examples of good gimmicks that Sonic has been able to have, along with examples of bad gimmicks? And overall, let's deduce whether or not they're a good feature that's necessary, and if so, how they should be handled. But first, why are you watching this video on that awful non-specific web browser, when you should be using the web browser all the cool gamers are using, Opera GX? This joke doesn't work if you're watching on mobile. Opera GX is the first web browser designed specifically for gamers, and if there's something that I know about us Sonic fans, it's that we're kinda gamers. There's this really cool feature called GX Control, where you're able to set how much RAM and CPU you're using, so you can easily multitask. Like looky here, I'm playing Sonic Heroes, while I'm watching the #1 source for Sonic the Hedgehog news and updates. You can also integrate it with Twitch, so you can get notifications whenever your favorite streamers go live, and it's fully customizable, with your own colors and the sorts. Why wouldn't you want to download this browser? It has it all. This isn't even to mention the built-in VPN and ad blocker. We all hate ads, am I right? So be sure to download Opera GX for free, using the link in the description, and thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. In reality, I think gimmicks are essential now in creating a Sonic game. The reason the classics didn't have any is because they were the first few entries. The series itself was the gimmick. Running fast, momentum, the loops, that was the draw. But look what happened with Mario. One of the big reasons Sonic stood out so much, and was able to become as successful as he was because Sonic 1 was up against Super Mario World. A good game for sure, but a lot of people at the time were getting burnt out in just the same basic 2D platformer again. They wanted something new, and Sonic provided just that.
Nintendo controls 80% of the video market, though some game players prefer the pictures of its competitor Sega.
With a series as long running as Mario or Sonic, it's important to make each entry stand out. If not, then what would be a general consumer's reason to buy the next one if they already have what came before? It was a big reason behind the Wii U's failure, actually. General audiences were mostly confused by it, and didn't realize why they needed to throw out their old Wiis for what seemed like a useless add-on. And that's because it failed to form an identity of its own. And say what you will about Sonic games, they all at least feel like they're trying to be their own thing. I guess I just hate the word gimmick being used as a buzzword to call Sonic a bad franchise. Mario games all have gimmicks. Mario Sunshine has the FLUDD, Galaxies had the anti-gravity, Odyssey had the possession mechanic, all just gimmicks used to sell the game at the end of the day. But you don't mind because they feel like natural extensions to Mario's regular abilities. With Sonic it ain't that easy. The core of each and every Sonic game has to be speed in some way. So not only does the gimmick need to stand out, but it also needs to help in keeping to those themes of speed and platforming, and be able to flow things along with that. And that's where I think a majority of Sonic's gimmicks failed where Mario succeeded. Let's go into a couple and we can see just why they failed. The classic Sonic games definitely had their fair share of dumb gimmicks that never worked out, such as the terrible tethered ring shit from Knuckles Chaotic, but I think we can all agree that the 3D games is where Sega really went overboard in trying to make Sonic appeal to as many people as possible. I don't mind this as much in Sonic Adventure. You know, if you want to play the speed stages, then just play as Sonic or Tails, but if you feel like torturing yourself, you can just pick Big the Cat. But even then, alternate gameplay styles are inherently flawed. I think Gamma was able to pretty seamlessly blend high-speed platforming and gun gameplay, especially since each level had a time limit you could extend by defeating badniks. So not only does the stage encourage you to go fast, but also to use your newly equipped firearm. SZ2 is really where this stuff started to bother me a lot, because it's when they started to blend these alternate styles within the one campaign. One level you'd be zipping around as Sonic, then the next you're slowly walking around on a heavy mech as Tails trying to shoot your way through enemies. It's just a real pace breaker. Like, there are points where you'll play 2 Sonic stages in a row and having a great time, but as a result of that you then have to play through like 4 Tails and Knuckles stages, so you aren't seeing Sonic again for a long time. At the very least in SA1, I can go into a story and know what to expect from it. I'm not playing Sonic then the next level fishing is big, you know? But at least in SA2 it's not so bad. You know, at least the Tails and Knuckles stages generally take around the same amount of time as the Sonic ones, so it still feels like they can be part of the same game, and you never feel like you've played as any character longer than Sonic. Boy, wouldn't that be a disaster. I like Sonic Unleashed. I think as a game it's good, but as an experience it's phenomenal. I will always stand by Generations being the better game, but Unleashed being the better experience. It's got the great story, the immersive hub worlds, the wonderful theming. The scope in this game is just insane. But of course I have to bring up what deters most people from the experience as a whole. and that's the Warthog. Saying the game is a 50-50 split between Sonic and the Warthog is being way too generous. It's more of a 70-30 split. Because while they may share the same amount of levels, the Warthog ones go on for way longer than the Sonic stages. I see some people exaggerate this and say they take like 40 to 50 minutes long, but no. Unless you're an infant who's bad at video games, these should take you no longer than 20 to 30 minutes. But at the same time, I can acknowledge that while I may personally enjoy the Warthog segments, they completely destroy the flow of the game, and do not mesh well with the regular boost stages. I think separately the boost levels are fun, and the Warthog levels are fun, but when put together it kinda creates this poorly paced mess that I really wish were better handled. Again, it's that struggling of being able to keep a sense of speed and flow going while trying out new things. But Sega just seems to throw whatever gimmick they can into the series, hoping it'll turn out well. Characters are literally created out of the idea of a gimmick. I mean, look at Silver. His entire creation was based on Sega using the Havoc physics engine, and thus wanted to make a character with psychokinesis. Only issue is the character wasn't originally gonna be in the Sonic game, but was chucked into 06 for some reason. So now we have this incredibly slow character who plays nothing like Sonic, and you're dropping in him levels that were designed for Sonic. Are you understanding why gimmicks became such an issue here? You want to hear some good examples of gimmicks in Sonic games that show it's entirely possible to create fast and engaging gameplay around new mechanics? Well, this first one might be controversial, but I actually think Sonic and the Black Knight did a great job at this, if executed in not the best way. Flowing together attacks here with the sword is super fun and fast. If you homing attack and shake the remote, Sonic will turn into this saw blade comboing through every enemy in sight. It's great. Honestly, the only issue with the sword controls in Black Knight is how he controls on the ground. Sonic slows down when you attack, which breaks up the flow. But if they spent more time on the gameplay, and were able to make the attacks flow more naturally, I think Black Knight could have been an exhilarating game where combo chains are the name of the game. And you know what Sonic game does that well? Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. Yeah, I rarely see people talk about this game, but it's really, really good. They just took Shattered Crystal and trimmed all the fat. The big gimmick with this one is obviously the fire and ice mechanics. But really they just feel like an extension of the elemental shields from Sonic 3, except you have access to them permanently, and can switch through them on the fly by the press of a button. I love just playing through levels in this game, seeing how far I can get without needing to stop. It's so much fun. The fire burns ice and the ice freezes water. It's super basic, and they don't do much beyond that, but just adding those 2 extra moves to remember does wonders in making the game feel engaging and fast. You need some pretty quick reflexes for certain levels in this game. It's a lot of fun, and recommend you check it out at some point, if you ever get the chance. It's definitely the best Sonic Boom game. It's not saying much though, I know. But if we're going to talk about the best gimmick in a Sonic game, then I think Sonic Colors takes the cake.
You what?
Yeah, I think the Wisps work great in Sonic Colors. They fucking suck in everything else they've appeared in, but by God, with Colors, it genuinely seemed like they had a lot of creative ideas for what to do with these guys. Most of them are just short little moves that can help Sonic get to different areas, and a majority of them, not Cube, do a good job at keeping the speed going. Laser, Drill, Rocket, Spike, Frenzy, Hover, all of these guys can be fast if you know how to use them. And not to mention, since each level is designed around them, it allows for a lot of creative level design. People always bitch about colors being basic and blocky, and yeah, I agree with that, but that's why I enjoy the Wisps in this game. They're a breath of fresh air that breaks up from the tedious 2D platforming. It's just too bad their image has been tainted by appearing in every other 3D Sonic game to come after Colors. See, in those games, they just feel like a pointless gimmick. So yeah, Sonic games revolving themselves around gimmicks can work well, as we've seen. They just need to allow for speed to be kept while using them. But if you want to hear what I think the best kind of gimmicks are in Sonic, then it's the ones that aren't directly tied to Sonic himself, but instead the stages. Keep Sonic the same, stop fucking with him and changing his moves every game, and instead draw your attention to filling each level with its own variety of enemies, set pieces, and gimmicks to go through. That's how you make your stuff fun, stand out, and also keep Sonic's core gameplay while doing creative stuff with it. Case in point, Mania versus Forces. Yep, we're doing this argument again. Whether or not you like Mania, you have to agree that each and every level has had a ton of effort poured into it, in order to make them stand out from one another. Studiopolis Act 1 has the TV monitors, the Hornet trucks, the breaking glass, while Act 2 has that bingo stuff, has you inside an actual studio, the falling platforms. The Impress Garden Act 1 is in a printing press and features those rotating platforms, while Act 2 has you outside in a snowy area, where you can be turned into ice to break through objects and has wood chippers everywhere. You get what I'm saying, right? Each level has a variety of features. Even the 3D games got this right. City Escape has the gun truck, Metal Harbor has the ending rocket, Final Rush has all the grinding rails. It's a super important feature that was surprisingly absent in... forces. If I were to take Luminous Forest and replace the assets with Green Hill, you would not be able to tell for a second that anything was different, because each level is the exact same. No level has a set gimmick, and I'm not counting the fucking dumb QTE segments. Each of them have the same enemies, just the generic boring egg pawn stuff. Even in Sonic Heroes, even though they had the egg pawns a lot, they still changed their designs to reflect the stage, like having the wizard ones be in Hang Castle, or the bright and colorful ones in Casino Park. Each level just has the same level design and set pieces. Sometimes they try something unique, but it never stands out enough to make an impression on the viewer. I mean, even Sonic 4 got this right, for Christ's sake. Every level now was at least trying something different than the last. I don't know, I hope I've at least opened your eyes on some of this stuff, and that you can see that gimmicks in Sonic the Hedgehog aren't necessarily a bad thing. If anything, they're essential in keeping the game engaging for a player. It just all depends on how they use them. And I look forward to the next Sonic game's reveal, and seeing just what they've got up their sleeve in order for me to want to buy it. Well anyways, that was another excuse to shit on forces again, so I'll see you next time.